was a mistake, wasn't it?
That was kind of unfortunate. So, here we are, starting again, because somehow this whole entire show was shot in silent. That is right. Went to start editing it, and it was in silent. Luckily,
I was still here.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't editing alone today.
Oh,
So here we are, starting again.
yeah.
So, welcome.
Is it? To
Editing and coffee. I am BLSongbird, and this is my mom.
AV Singer.
And today's
Today's been a day.
been a day for me. But we'll start with alright, so editing and coffee, we edit manuscripts and drink coffee. It's really a simple concept, guys. Super simple. And today I wrote, and we filmed twice, and edited, and put out a chapter of The Cat's Out of the Bag.
Yes. So, enjoy. Okay. So, chapter 8. Smells good. Earth turned in the doorway and said, "What was that?" There was no response. He closed the door but left a crack in case Som decided to come down for more food and water. She'd barely left Mix's side since he came barging into his apartment around lunchtime, soaking wet with blood caking his hair. Poor kid was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Earth thought of their bodies pressed together and swiftly changed track. What a nuisance. Actually, I wonder how old he is. He shrugged it off. For all he knew, Mix just looked young. He asked Mix if he wanted to go to the hospital. After cleaning his wound, it was clear that he wasn't in good shape and might have a concussion. Mix was adamant. No hospitals. So here they were, Mix laying in his guest bed. His phone vibrated on the dark gray kitchen counter. Oh, I think I'm going to put dark, gray kitchen counter.
Okay.
Or dark gray, kitchen counter.
Dark, gray,
No, just dark gray, kitchen counter. Kitchen modifies counter, dark modifies gray. If you want to put another comma, you're welcome to, but it's fine that way probably. See what happens when you put one. Just do it! Comma! Ta-da! Problem solved. He loved how the blue light made the white of the cabinet seem like ice. It made him happy. He definitely made some good design choices. The display on his phone read, Editor Jane. Oh, he rolled his eyes and picked it up. Yes. Is that any way to greet your bread and butter? Earth cast about for the patience he needed for this phone call. Hi, Jane. How are you on this fine day? I'm doing quite well, thank you. What can I do for you? I'm calling because I just sent you the final revisions for Julian and Claire. I want to discuss the press release for it. Can I convince you to do some in-person interviews this time? Even a video call would do. Absolutely not. You know I don't do face-to-face interactions. Can I put your picture on the book? No! But look, Jane, if there's nothing else, I've got to go check those revisions. I'll send you a message when they're complete. Okay. Though I'll never understand why you don't want to claim your work. It's so much fun. I love hanging up now, Jane. Bye. Why did she always need to ask the same questions when she already knew what the answer was going to be? He wasn't ever going to show his face to the public. Ever. Okay, never. Earth grabbed his laptop off its charger in his study and headed toward his favorite chair. He shut the blinds to the dark, drizzly night and cuddled under his favorite throw blanket to start working on his edits. It was warm and humid outside, but inside was ice cold. Earth, a frog croaked in the room. Earth jumped out of his skin. What? is it? He brandished his laptop like a weapon and looked in confusion for the frog. Whoa, it's me, Mix, the frog croaked. Who's Mix? Earth snapped back to the present with a jolt and recognized the man who'd been laying in his guest bed all afternoon. He looked very stiff and uncomfortable. If you don't remember, I would rather me not be here. I'll just, Mix gestured toward the front door. Oh, front entrance, okay.
I'm so fancy.
You are.
We can simplify.
Okay. Earth glanced at the front door, and then it.
That's why.
Well, then make entrance the second time. Earth glanced at his entrance. Okay. And then at Mix's flushed face. Nope, you're not going anywhere. But, I'm sorry, Mix, it's just when I get wrapped up with writing, I tend to lose track a bit. You're a writer? Earth glanced at the clock. Wow, it's that late already? Mix nodded. He looked like he didn't quite know what to do or where to go, so he just stood there fidgeting. Okay, I am going to tell you this in the middle and not at the end. You got up at 5 this morning to write this in a hurry because you hadn't written it yet.
Yeah.
I was coming at 9.
Yeah.
And you had to get it done.
Yes, that happened.
Okay, and now it's 2:22, and you're going to post this at 6.
Yes.
And so to me, there's something wrong in this little section right here. So this is what I really want you to do, and I want you to actually do it for me this time, just please. I want you to take this section from already down here all the way back up to where he can't remember Mix, and just highlight it and turn all the words red. You're up at 5 in the morning writing, and you're just going along trying to get this darn story done because you're late and you're a writer and you have a deadline, right?
Yes.
And so you're just writing, and it's like, okay, but this whole section that's in red right here, I think there are juxtapositions that are in the wrong place. Like he's going, who's Mix? Oh, I'm sorry, Mix. It's just when I get wrapped up with writing, I tend to lose track a bit. You're a writer? Earth snapped back to the present. I mean, you'll have to play around with it to figure out where it goes the best. But it was odd to ask, who's Mix? Have all this reading, and then have him say, I'm sorry, Mix. It's just when I get wrapped up with writing, I tend to lose track a bit. Okay, it's like a juxtaposition, because you're thinking, right, and writing down stuff as it comes to you, and the way the brain works, it doesn't always come in order, and that's what editing is for afterwards. Okay? And,
So we probably have time. This is probably one of the few things this needs editing, so why are we waiting till later?
Okay, well then let's do it. Let's think about this. So the frog comes in and croaks, whoa, it's me, Mix, and he's a writer, he's caught up in his story, he's in another universe, and he's thinking, who's Mix? And Mix backs off and says, And then this is where he could snap back to the present with a jolt and recognize the man laying in his guest bedroom all afternoon. He looked very stiff and uncomfortable. And then is when he could say, I'm sorry, Mix. It's just when I get wrapped up with writing, I tend to lose track a bit.
That's fair.
And then, not all of it. Don't put all of it. Just that. I'm sorry, Mix. Just put it up there. Okay, this kid has a concussion, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't remember and would rather me not be here, I'll just write, and then you might have to add something like, I remember, or he glanced. Mix gestured toward the front door. Earth can glance at the entrance and then said, I remember who you are. You're not going anywhere. But I lose track. I'm a writer. He can say it again.
remember who you are. You're not going anywhere.
Period. I'll put in a sentence. And so if we're going to actually edit this, period, here, under after R, capital Y.
Oh
I
man.
know. You're not going anywhere.
Ken does the English well.
I know. But, and then, he can say something else like, yes, you're staying here. And he goes, and then Mick suddenly kind of comes to and goes, you're all right.
You're not going anywhere, but why again?
Or you can just say but, and then he can go, oh, you're a writer? Get rid of those quotes. And get rid of those quotes, and then move it back. And having put an interjection in there like, I liked that slash, leave that, put a space, and then write the word oh with, period, or
Period.
that. You're a writer? And then Earth can still glance at the clock. Wow, it's that late already? I'm not sure the wow, it's that late already is in the right place exactly, but it does kind of show that he's not listening to Mix's sort of concussed rant. Right?
That's so disjointed.
I know. It's very disjointed. Yeah.
No, they're just not in sync yet. That might be okay.
Earth glanced at the clock. Wow, it's that late already? You could always add something like didn't like to explain himself, or what's the point of explaining himself, or it doesn't matter. It kind of gives to their characters a little bit maybe. Mix nodded. He looked like he didn't quite know what to do or where to go, so he just stood there, fidgeting. And I'd put a comma between there and fidgeting.
Okay.
He just stood there, comma, fidgeting. Why aren't you in bed? I have trouble sleeping when I'm not in my own bed. Earth sighed. That made sense. He also had difficulty relaxing in other people's homes. Maybe they should all go where Mix was more comfortable. But then he'd have to leave the comfort of his home for Mix's. Should he? Earth looked at Mix, who was swaying a bit on his feet. There was no way he was letting this man go home alone. He made up his mind. Mix, we should go to your place. Mix stared at Earth, a bit confused. We? Who's we? You, me, and of course, comma, Song. Oh, you don't have to. Earth thought for a minute. It's true, he didn't. And then why do you say it's true again? You can just say, I don't, but I want to. I think it's more powerful if you say it. It's confusing when you say it's true twice. Remove the space. Was it possible for Mix's cheeks to get even rosier? He stood up and took a few... Who stood up in front? Oh, Earth stood up. Oh. Yeah, put it back in. We took this out at the first editing. Earth stood up and took a few steps. That's right. Earth stood up and took a few steps to stand in front of Mix. He gently touched his forehead. Yup, still burning. Mix nodded. Here, Earth picked up Psalm, who'd been winding her way around his legs, and put her in Mix's arms. Mix brought her up to his face and cuddled her. Earth said, come on. Are you really sure? Mix spoke, but no sound. Oops. Are you really sure? Mix spoke, but no sound came out, only a whisper. Okay, so why did that happen? Because that should go at the end. Very good, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's probably this because it's just related to speaking.
That's right.
That's the comma rule, apparently, guys, is, when it's actually related to the sound of the voice or the tone of the voice, you put a comma, and when it's an action, you put a period. Apparently, that's the thing. Okay, onwards.
Yes, Mix nodded again. With that, they walked out the door into the soft night air. Wasn't it raining earlier?
Yeah, it stopped raining. That's how much time has passed. Wow, it's late already.
Oh, okay. 2 doors down, they stopped in front of Mix's house. The door stood wide open to the evening air. Wow, you really do live 2 doors down. Why is the door open? You know what I think would be better? I think it'd be better if he thought, wow, he really does live 2 doors down. And then he says, why is the door open?
Okay.
So just get rid of the quotes.
I make all the pretty things happen eventually. Slowly, maybe not. What's going on?
I love how our brain doesn't work in order sometimes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go. Wow, he really does.
Oh, do live.
Oh yeah, thank you, Google. He really does live 2 doors down. Why is the door open? Look, I think you can say something like, he glared at Mix. I mean, he's kind of mad about the door being open, right? Mix has been there all day long.
That's a little unnerving.
Mix can still stand there, but he glared at, Earth glared, and then Earth glared, period. And then paragraph. And then we decided we could keep Earth remembered. All during the first thing we took out all the Earth remembered except this one. Earth remembered the state Mix was in earlier. Did you leave it open? Mix shrugged. You don't know? Mix nodded. Okay. It's unlikely that anybody walked in. This is a gated community, but I'll check. Mix laid a hand on Earth's arm and looked at him with puppy dog eyes. Earth said, or I can call security?
Or
Mix nodded again. Earth sighed and pulled out his phone to make the call. Within 5 minutes, a guard came to look through the townhouse. By this time, Mix looked like he was about to collapse. There's nobody on the premises, but Mix, you might want to check and see if anything is missing, the guard said. Earth was surprised the guard was on a first-name basis with Mix. Mix whispered, "Thank you, Terry." Did Mix remember the guard's first name? Not a problem. Okay, so for the sake of not telling and showing, try this sentence. Instead of Earth was surprised the guard was on a first name basis with Mix, try writing, was the guard on a first name basis with Mix? Was the guard on a first name basis with Mix? Right? Because it's him, he's inside his own body. He's thinking, was this guard on a first name basis with Mix? Mix whispered, "Thank you, Terry." Did Mix remember the guard's first name? He remembers the guard's first name? This is telling, not showing, showing, not telling, but this is, you're writing your list because you're trying to get your story out. You're trying to get it done as fast as you can, telling it like it is, telling it like it is, telling it like it is, but now we have to go back and show it, right? So, he remembers the guard's first name? Not a problem. I'll wait for you to do a walkthrough. Mix gave a thumbs up and wobbled toward the house. Earth reached out and grabbed his hand. Mix looked at him questioningly. Earth was impressed with how easy it was to read Mix's face. I think we'll leave that one. Put your hand on my shoulder so you don't fall. Mix complied and they made their way into the house.
So, interjection, the reason that we're like not necessarily showing everything is if you show everything, that sometimes slows the story down. But if you tell everything, it gets boring and slows the story down too. So you have to have a good mixture of both showing and telling to make the story run smoothly. And it's just the art of picking where to do what.
Right, exactly. Because if you do nothing but show, and no telling at all, it sometimes your readers can't see what it is. They have to be able to visualize while they're reading as well. And telling is a way you can get little details in there. Like we can say that Earth was impressed. If we just said it was easy to read Mix's face, that's showing. It was easy to read Mix's face, but we would not know that Earth was impressed. So we can tell Earth was impressed. Mm-hmm. And that's what she's trying to say, is you pick and choose where you do that. So then he says, put your hand on my shoulder so you don't fall. Mix complied, and they made their way into the house. This house was an exact mirror of his. Instead of right, they turned left from the front hallway toward the living room, kitchen, and spare room. Nice television. If that's still here, it's unlikely anything else is missing. Mix barely paused before continuing toward the spare room. Earth walked along with him. They paused at the door.
I guess we'll use the word stopped instead.
And would he have left the door open in a room like this? Or would he have closed it?
It's probably closed.
He had to keep the dust from the rest of the house out of it. Right. And then,
now they have to open it though, since it's a closed door.
Yeah.
Or do they? Can it just magically open?
No.
Poof!
Well,
no more door.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, actually, there's a case to be made for not telling every single little detail, right? But
is this a moment for telling a detail or not? That's the question. Will people make an assumption that
you can
the door
say
was open?
They stopped before going through the closed door.
Okay.
And then you can say, the room was set up with soundproofing and a variety of instruments. In the back corner, there was a complete setup of what appeared to be recording equipment. Earth didn't know much about the world of music, but he could tell everything was where it belonged and was well cared for. Is it all there? Mix squeezed his shoulder. Good. Earth felt Mix's hand begin to slide. He glanced over and realized he was about to collapse. Whoa! Earth wrapped his arm, just one arm around Mix's waist. Stay upright. So he's like doing the side hug thing.
Yeah.
It seemed Mix didn't hear him as Earth was now supporting his full body weight. Wow, every muscle in his body struggled to hold Mix upright. Okay, now what? Oh yeah, the guard was still outside. He carefully lowered Mix to the floor to look for him. Hi, Terry. Now this is a place where we can leave detail out. We assume he found him, right?
Huh?
Yes? I don't think anything is missing, but I could use your help. Mix collapsed. Terry followed him back into the house and checked Mix's vitals. He's okay, just fainted. Do you want help getting him to bed? Shouldn't we get him... Where did my words go? Shouldn't we get him to a hospital? Is this what Terry says?
No, that's Earth.
Earth says, shouldn't we get him to a hospital?
Yeah, because Terry followed him back into the house and checked Mix's vitals. He's okay, just fainted, and then...
Do you want me to help him get him to bed? And then Earth says, shouldn't we get him to bed? Okay, since I got mixed, and I've already read this story, I got mixed up, and I've already read this story once a day, can you put Earth said, shouldn't we get him to a hospital?
You didn't get confused the first time.
I know, so I don't know what's going on now. Oh, that's okay, Mix wouldn't want that. Terry grabbed one arm and gestured for Earth to hold the other. Together they hefted him to his feet. Mix groaned. Ah, welcome back, Mix. Can you help us a bit? Terry asked. Earth felt Mix's lax muscles tighten. Terry said, okay, let's move. How did this guard know so much? Earth asked, okay, how do you know? Don't worry, Terry said. I will call his normal physician and have him come check him in the morning. How do you know all this? Earth asked. Mix gave me this information in case something like this happened. But you're just a security guard. Yes, I am. You know, I'm surprised you haven't given any emergency Ugh. Yes, I am, you know. I'm surprised you haven't given any emergency contact information yet. You live alone too, right? How does he know I live alone? Is he watching me? Is that a thing? Yes, it's one of the services we offer. Don't you read the brochure? Nope. He barely glanced at it.
I'm really bad at this today.
Earth was really puzzled. Do you know why he doesn't want to go to the hospital? Terry looked at him in disbelief. Don't tell me you don't recognize him. Should I? The guard chuckled. Well, this is a first. Someone who doesn't know you, Mix. Okay, one stare at a time. I should know him? Terry laughed outright. It's refreshing, that's all. Finally, they made it to the top of the stairs. It felt like hours later, but it was probably really only minutes. Earth glanced around at the small landing. Family pictures were hung carefully on the walls, and a pile of bags set in the corner with bright fabrics peeking out. They headed toward the master bedroom and quickly got it mixed into a large, luxurious bed. The light gray bed sheets and blackout curtains were lovely. They were set against white walls. This room was probably filled with light when the curtains were open. Thank you. Who said thank you?
Earth.
Let's make that a paragraph then. And just say, Earth said thank you. Okay, and the reason being is because it sounded like it was a thank you to the room being filled with light when the curtains were open.
Oh.
Right? Not a problem, Terry replied. Well, if there's nothing further, I'll head out. No, nothing more. Earth walked him down the stairs and out the front door. I'll make sure to contact a doctor. Wait, come on. Give me a chance to read.
I'm not doing it purposefully.
I'll make sure to contact the doctor in the morning before I get off my shift. We'll put up there in this quote still.
What about the quote?
Put your cursor right there and type something to the effect of, make sure you get us your information soon, right? And then how does Earth react to that before he says thank you again? No, should be good enough.
I know it was down. What happened?
Oh no. Whoa, it did it again though. Earth shoot him off. And there's where you write it in action. Thank you again. Terry nodded and headed off into the night. Thank you again. Earth closed and locked the door behind him. Psalm was forgotten in all the hubbub, but was thankfully waiting patiently on the living room rug. So it isn't the house, eh? Was it possible? Was it actually him and not the house? Did she love him as much as he loved her? Yeah, that's much better. She came over and wound her way around his legs. Ah, he picked her up for a snuggle. Okay, let's make us both a late dinner. Okay, that turned out really well. Thank you.
Okay, recording.
Okay.
All
All right, wow, that was loud.
You're welcome.
You're
Glad to be of help.
Here, yeah. Me too. There you go.
I used my theater voice momentarily.
Woohoo! So that chapter came out okay, even though you wrote it at 5 this morning, late.
I'm going to tell you a story about writer's block.
Oh yeah.
Because that is what this is. This is a story of writer's block. I woke up at 5 this morning to write this chapter. She's right. Because I didn't write it yesterday, or the day before, or the day before that, or the entire, I don't know, it could be a couple weeks now, really.
Yeah, and that happens to all of us writers. And, there's this really simple way to break writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
And that is,
Well, you start writing.
you just start writing.
But let me tell you the let me tell you the process here. I started writing at 5.
Mhm.
Guess how far I'd gotten by 5:30?
Halfway through.
3 sentences. How far by 6:30?
No.
500 words maybe.
Oh,
You know,
man.
it really didn't start loosening up till I think I probably wrote the most of this chapter by between 7:30 and 8:30 this morning.
And then I arrived at 9.
And then I did a little editing.
Mhm.
So yeah, it took a long time and was dispersed with Twitter,
Oh,
coffee,
yeah,
cat snuggles.
the endless other things you could be doing besides writing.
Yeah, because
Whatever it is.
when you don't want to write, you tend to just
do everything.
do everything else.
Suddenly those curtains need to be washed. Well, I think I'll wash the windows today. You'll never wash the windows until writer block comes up because literally you're stuck writing, right? And because I'm on a roll right now writing with my latest novel, and I actually have been writing in increments of an hour and then forcing myself to get up. I literally finished I write anywhere between 2,600 words on as little as 1,000 or 1,000 words per chapter.
Mm-hmm.
It either way, whatever length it is,
Mm-hmm.
depending on how excited I am, it takes me about an hour to write a chapter
Yeah.
because I'm in the flow and there's no writer's block happening right now. And I just came off a really long writer's block of about 7 months. So it's like, wow, writing. As opposed to writer's block for her and all these, and the 4 hours it took her to write this one little tiny, how many words is this? Like 12,
But you're welcome, everybody. Because you'll get to see it tonight, and I'm not, blaming writer's block and taking a week off. So, heart, this is editing and coffee.
And see you next
We're now
week.
going to sign out. We'll see you on Friday. Because I'll probably have writer's block with it too. So there.